Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast, and welcome finally to Titan. I'm Bankole, and today we're discussing the 7th episode of For All Mankind Season 5. And my co-pilots for this flight, who I definitely trust and aren't conniving behind my back, they miss when it was still fun to be Nicki Minaj fans. It's Ebube and Pete. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah. Nicki Minaj came on the episode like a jump scare. I was like, oh no, we don't listen to our music anymore.
It's just one of those things that I was like, oh right, 2012. Of course they're dancing the starships. Okay. Wow.
Pete, you found your password. That's what all your comments were saying after your last week video because you missed 5.
Yeah, I was out of town, so I was I just put those two together, which turned out all right because they were sort of a pair.
We did as well. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a lucky break, but yeah, now we're strapped in for the end of the season though. It feels like with this one it feels like we're going in that direction definitely. I thought this was about as good as it can get, right? I mean, it sort of had me. I was a little worried whenever they started the dance sequence. I was like, what is actually happening here? You know, like what kind of show is this? Yeah, what is this show turning into now? God. I mean, the way that it played out, it seemed like it was fine altogether.
Yeah, I'll say before we get to there, because I have so many conflicting thoughts that were fighting within me during that segment.
Look, guys.
But before we get to everything, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening on an audio platform, please rate and review. As always, if you don't know who Pete is, check out his channel. If you know Pete and you're only here because of him, then please check out our channel. We are both covering For All Mankind this season, and I'm sure we'll both be very busy over the summer. Speaking of over the summer, I don't think we're going to cover it in depth, but Pete, I did tell you this even though we were talking about it. I finally watched the trailer for Star City, which, for anyone who doesn't know, it's the spin-off, I guess you could call it, of For All Mankind, which is tracing like the Soviet Union kind of trajectory from 1969.
Yeah.
It very much my shit. Like, I watched that trailer and that was like, you know how space is your stuff? That's what you like For All Mankind. Like, first of all, it looks like they're doing the Chernobyl roots of like everybody just speaking in British accents. Thank you. Don't do the Russian accent. Just speak as British people. But this is like,
prefer that to them actually speaking Russian. To them actually speaking Russian. Okay.
It's like, unless you're getting an entire cast of Russians,
they could.
Like, it's very unlikely
but they're not.
Gonna be. Yeah, so it's better. I just rather I remember when Chernobyl first came out, like it took me like a whole episode to be like, oh, that's what's happening. I was like, are they just all experts? I was genuinely confused in Chernobyl at first, but then I was like, I think it's just better because like if you're gonna get all these actors that are British fans, for example, just let them speak in their normal accents, please. Don't make it cartoonish, don't make it confusing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if this is the same people that make For All Mankind, so unless they were going to if it was a Russian production, then for sure it would make sense for them to cast Russian actors and speak in Russian. But like, how would they even do that technically if the showrunners don't even know what anyone's saying, when they're delivering their lines during the episode? So
but no, I watched the trailer and it's like from the trailer at least it seems very much like Cold War, John le Carre kind of spy stuff.
Why are you obsessed with Russian espionage?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a man.
I have some things to say. We should talk about it off of not in the recording here, but I will say that yeah, it's not the same. It's definitely not. They're going for the psychological thriller
Mm,
um with a bit of space backdrop.
yeah.
So it will
Um,
be I was a little bit sure I was a little bit unsure because I didn't have a lot of excitement around the idea of a Cold War era thing, like, cause I just wasn't sure how they would do that at this point, like, if they were gonna try to make it out like the dark, cause they kinda suck on the Russian characters sometimes, you know what I mean? The way that they depict that as they're
they,
just like
they are villains. They're like
yeah, they're just
one note
always the bad
villains.
guys, so it's like,
Yeah.
well but anyways, I think with that, I think it will appeal to it won't appeal to everyone who loves For All Mankind, but it will appeal to a bunch of people who could care less about For All Mankind at the same
Hmm.
time.
That one,
And
yes.
mentioning Chernobyl, that's not something I thought of, but I know someone um who is Russian, who saw some of it, and that's what they said was that they think that they're probably trying to
Oh wow.
capitalize a little bit off of
Fair.
that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm guessing we'll probably do like a quick spoiler-free tease during the finale of this For All Mankind season. But I don't know for now if we're gonna cover it in depth. It'll be you are not obsessed with espionage?
I mean, I can be. It depends on the situation, but not in the same way that you are. Like, I feel like for you, it's like, okay, this is the kind of story that is genuinely intriguing for you, which is great. For me,
Yeah.
I don't know if this specific kind of intrigue is what would draw me to this. Especially since, like there's different kinds of viewers, right? Like for me, I think I'm in the camp of viewer that's like, do I like the Russians? Why do I want to hear about their story? But then again, I'm also in the camp that's like, okay, maybe there's something interesting here. Maybe there's a reason the Russians were the way they were For All Mankind, and this is the way I find out. So, but I do like the potential of a psychological thriller, and it still
Yeah.
involves all the science stuff. I think I'd probably be drawn more to it for, you know, kind of the recontextualization.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, let's go into For All Mankind now. But I think going into Star City or when it was first announced, what I didn't really or what I wasn't excited about was necessarily a companion piece. I didn't want to be
Yeah.
doing the mental math in my head of like, oh, what happened if For All Mankind season one here and like trying to place them together. Or so like I would very much enjoy it if they're like two very independent shows
Yeah.
that maybe sometimes you're like, oh, that's Ed Baldwin on the newsreel or whatever, but like I don't want to feel like it's For All Mankind but Russia. Like I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
so I like the fact that it feels like a different show. Anyway, let's talk about For All Mankind. This is episode 7. It is written by Jovan Robinson and is directed by Dan Liu. It is titled The Sirens of Titan, which is, I googled that, and it's Kurt Vonnegut's second novel. I don't know if either of you has read it, but
Yes.
I would just, oh, you've read it?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Of
sure I
course you've
read
read it,
all
Pete.
of
That's
Yeah,
not
of course,
surprising.
Vonnegut's
you have.
That's not
That's
surprising at
not
all.
one that I remember as being one I like necessarily
Yeah.
out of them.
I will just read, well, it's the second novel, so I'll just read a quick synopsis of the novel and you guys can tell me if anything sounds familiar. Malachi Constance is the richest man in a future North America. He possesses extraordinary luck that he attributes to divine favor, which he has used to build upon his father's fortune. He becomes the center point of a journey that takes him from Earth to Mars in preparation for an interplanetary war, to Mercury with another Martian survivor of that war, and then back to Earth to be pilloried as the sign of man's displeasure with his arrogance. And finally, to Titan, where he again meets the man who was responsible for the turn of events that befell him.
Does he also
So,
live in
this
Meru?
is, well, maybe Meru instead of Mercury. Like, it kind of seems very much like a dev one-to-one.
Yeah, it made me when I looked it up, I made me want to reread it because I mean, it was something that I read maybe like when I was still in high school or right out, like in first couple of years after high school. So it didn't really, I didn't really remember it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so last week, Ebube was here last week, and he spoke with Angel, who is not here this week. Angel, I was going to say we're sad, but no, she's having fun on holiday, but she'll be back next week. We discussed a lot of things, and we assumed that there will be a time jump at some point. Speaking for myself, I thought it'd be after episode 7. I didn't think we'll start episode 7 with it, so I was kind of surprised. Like, I guess in my head, and we didn't really discuss this last week, but in my head, the President Bragg kind of announcement wasn't a full stop, it was a comma. That I didn't think that was the end of the hostage crisis, which I guess it was. I just thought it was is the end for this week. So obviously it shows that that was their end, and they had to kind of go
Which
to the new
we
status
considered that
quo.
as a possibility, right?
We did
Because
consider it, yeah.
It's like I was saying, by 8, we need to have some form of progress. And that means 7 is going to have to do a lot of work in terms of, showing how time went by. So it's starting immediately with 6 months later. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. Like you said, I thought that there would be a little bit of the aftermath of what he said. But at the same time, it was true, it takes that long to get to Titan. So it was pretty obvious that they were going to have to skip ahead at some point.
So we're going to save all the Titan stuff for towards the end of the episode, but let's just kind of there's a new status quo, right? We see that these guys they've taken it on the chin. They're trying to assert their independence, or as much as they can. Ison isn't helping them anymore because they don't want to risk a war back home. And we kind of see this their board, a couple of new characters. And yeah, we see that they're trying to farm to create their sustenance. They're trying to make things work in a way to outlast Earth, right? The M6. I guess, what did you guys think of this new status quo, the way they're trying to make things work?
It makes sense to me that at the very least, they would have something in mind for how to survive. And I guess dealing with Ison was essentially the only way. The show kind of already planted that idea with the whole Lee situation, right? So the only thing with that is now it has limits. So we've gone from, the drama of a hostage situation, which is kind of tense in the moment, suspenseful, to this situation here, which is kind of like a slow burn, stakes are high, time is running out, especially, grounded by the fact that people on Mars are like, you know what, we're good. If this is how it's going to be, it's been a few too many months now for this to be sustainable. Let's just go back to Earth, which is crazy, right? Like that just tells you how, the whole let's not negotiate with terrorists thing that Bragg was talking about can be effective if you draw it long enough. It's literally like who can hold their breath the longest, because half of these people have gone from Mars is ours to when's the next transport?
Yeah, I thought I think that whenever you're talking about this status quo, the elephant in the room is Dev, right?
Yeah. I didn't expect him to be the overlord of the other side. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that was the part I think that was I feel like as you said, this is all stuff that is pretty predictable as far as what their options are. But I think the big surprise for me was that how actively Dev was working against what was going on there.
What did you think he meant when he said lock the doors at the end of last week's episode?
I mean, in hindsight, I thought that he was definitely the implication was that he was bunkering down, but I didn't necessarily think that meant that he would team up with Palmer to,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the part that.
What does he say which we're going to get to in a second, when he gives Palmer the plans? Is like, these people believe what they're doing is right and they're willing to die for their cause. I'm going to show them that they're wrong.
Utterly foolish.
Yeah, and I was. I bolded and underlined that in my notes. That was that was the biggest shot across the bow, I think.
Do you mind reading it if you have it in your notes? I forgot to take it down.
Yeah, let me look here. I mean, I didn't write the whole thing down, but the thing about being they're willing to give their lives for something utterly foolish was the paraphrase. And
I laughed out loud, bro, because it really felt so meta. It just felt like a very loud moment of irony to me, because this is like, look at you and look at what you're saying, but look at what you're doing. Like, who actually here is willing to give everything up for something foolish? Are you sure they're the foolish ones?
Mirror meets Dev.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? The fact that you're here working with Palmer, of all people, Palmer. And I actually, one thing actually about the status quo that I love is the fact that Aleda essentially hasn't picked a side. It's almost like Aleda is still emotionally a hostage. She's just trying to get work done, but she has to deal with the SDM people. Meanwhile, she can't really reach Dev, and she's like, "Well, I'm not trying to be seen as a traitor because I really just want to make sure the Titan people get home safe so that I can go back to my kids." Aleda's like, "Wow, this had to happen the one time I decided to come to Mars."
But she's also kind of doing everything else, not just Titan. Like, it seems like she's supervising the mining. She's kind of
because
dealing with all the surface stuff.
She's the highest ranking scientist on the planet at this point, right? On their side, the SDM people are mostly regular people who work for Helios, and she's the CEO of Helios, so she understands all the operations in a way most other people wouldn't. Kelly isn't here, right? Walt isn't here, so she kind of has to take up that mantle since Dev is on the other side, working with Palmer, by the way. Like, that's I agree with Pete. That's the thing that I was like, okay.
Coming back to that.
Like, hey,
Palmer.
Especially when we know their history. Can we talk about that later Miles scene? Because, like, was that like a sneaky great scene?
Yeah, like, I'm not your friend, but I'm not your enemy either.
Did they just have like excellent chemistry for no reason whatsoever? Like, I was like,
when he chuckled at the
end, they don't really have a history at all, do they? I mean, they do, I guess, like, off screen.
Yeah,
6 months, but like, I was like, do you guys want to leave your respective partners and become a couple? Because I think I'm shipping you now. Like, it's like,
I actually remember thinking,
like that scene.
It's crazy. I remember when he chuckled at the end, and I remember thinking, oh, wait, no, Miles, your wife is on the planet.
I was going to be like, are they going to be like him and his wife broke up in the 6 months? Because I was like, this is unnecessarily just really good. Just a really good scene. But
it doesn't have to be romantic for it to be good, but to be honest, I feel like Aleda has that. She has that thing about her where people just trust her expertise, because she's just one of those people who's endlessly competent. That's Aleda's whole thing. I am competent, and
also,
you will respect me because
genius,
of
it. Right? We forget about that, but like, she's had this kind of competency from like childhood, right?
Yeah, from childhood.
And you know
she's a genius.
One of the things I loved about this was that Lily says it out loud at one point. She says that Rosales lady would beat what was it, like, Saturn, beat up Titan or whatever, Saturn.
Yeah.
And that really is her spirit. Like,
don't mess with Aleda.
Yeah.
And then everyone at the SDM counts is like, you're the only one she doesn't hate. I was like, yes, Aleda. I love your reputation. Irina is trying to do a party coup from Mars.
Which is so interesting, bro. It's like, what? Like, just imagine the level of ambition, the level of self-confidence in your spy apparatus to try and do this literally from another planet. Like, you can barely take over another
held hostage, like, on another planet.
Do you think that that's even real, what she's telling Polivanov, that people are looking for someone younger and looking for him? Because he really is like the face of the disaster.
I mean, it could. I thought about that, but I suppose it could be real if Koshenko is actually, as on his last legs, as Irina is saying. The fact that they would go out of their way to need Lenia's wife to denounce him kind of speaks volumes. Because if it was truly a situation where the administration, the actual establishment, was still strong and they didn't need convincing, I feel like they would kind of just let Polivanov's bad reputation do all the work. But I guess they need an extra boost, and they have to get her to like publicly denounce him to kind of bring him down further. I feel like they wouldn't necessarily need to do that if some of this wasn't real.
I never considered, this is interesting because I never considered it wasn't real. I always considered that what she was saying was true. Because I mean, we do know that there is some kind of Mars sentiment growing on Earth. The newsreels say that. And I think what she was saying did track, that if Mars was to get independent under Kozhenko's reign, that wouldn't be good for his power. But what are you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, I think Korzenko is on the way out. That part is true because they established that the iridium was a real problem, and it's been 6 months with no iridium now, so, I mean, I find a lot of the Soviet stuff kinda confusing at this point, like, exactly what's happening there. I feel like we're a little bit left in the dark. There's, like, one thing, like, there's, like, one statement in the, thing about oligarchs, like, all of a sudden,
Oh,
Deb made
yeah,
a thing
yes.
about the oligarchs, like, whatever, and, like,
he's losing the oligarchs' power or support backing,
yeah, and
Kozhenko.
that really wasn't what it was about so much in episode or season 4. So I'm a little bit like unsure of what's happening there, except for they basically tied their whole economy to iridium, and now they don't have it. So somebody's got to pay for that. Someone's got to pay the price so that
I mean, I will admit I don't really know the specifics, but I think I'm just kind of using again, maybe somewhat because I watch these kind of things. I'm just kind of using like the big umbrella thing. Is like the old guy is coming out, and this woman who is clearly very smart and tactical is trying to find her new face. And I do think there's a world in which we can use Polivanov as the face, because he could be a prisoner of war. He could also come out of this being like a good liaison with Mars. So it would make sense that if Earth is now going to a Mars-friendly, like you're no longer a colony, you're a partner kind of thing, it makes sense that Russia would have a leader who is friendly with them. So I can see a world where he's a good kind of face when he leaves his hostage crisis.
Yeah, that makes some sense because what I imagine she's doing, like I thought maybe she's just looking around for what she can use in this situation, and if it does come down to that, the SDM does have control of, even though they're, by the end of the episode they're running out of food and everything else, they do actually have control. So she's going to have to bypass them or work together with them in one way or the other. And as far as who's actually on the on the planet right now, that he is the go-to guy. I mean, I would be trying to hook up with him too. You know what I mean?
When he's informed that his wife is gonna denounce him on air, he looks at this tree, which he again looked at. He looked at it in 5. I don't know if it was in a 5. He looked at it kind of
he told a little story about a tree whenever they introduced him.
Oh yeah, he did at the graduation. Because I was trying to remember if that tree meant something to him or to us. So I couldn't remember. But then I go there and I found this on Reddit. And I think it must be when the trailer came out. So it's just a Reddit comment about the tree. It says, I love that little and symbolic detail. That apple tree in the middle of the Happy Valley base on Mars. It's not just some random green to break the grey of the habitat. It's basically a visual shout out to the old Soviet song, and then the name of the song, which translates to, and on Mars the apple trees will blossom. The song from the 1960s came out at the height of the Soviet space dream and talks about cosmonauts and dreamers who are sure that one day, quote unquote, on Mars the apple trees will blossom, as a symbol of turning a hostile planet into a second home for all mankind. So, could be a reach, but that could be like, again, it's a symbol for us, but also mostly for the Russian side, because they have this song that's like has been almost their anthem for the space race, like on eventually. So maybe he sees it as like the death of that ambition. I don't know, or like he's going to be responsible for the end of a generation of Russians' dreams. I don't know, but like there's clearly irrelevance there to him.
How are you guys feeling about having Irina on the team?
I mean, I theorized this last week. Like, I feel like she has a long game where she will be a partner to the SDM. I still think that.
God, that's when you got friends like that, right?
Who needs enemies? You're right. It's funny because
I mean,
yeah, not later
she's
for sure.
crafty, you know, and everything, but yeah, I didn't know that she was in Star City, so I was a little bit confused whenever they did the thing and brought her back. About like, how am I supposed to feel about this character? Because like, I think about Sergey, you know, I think about Margot dealing with that at the end of last season, and that when I saw her in the, you know, and I see her locked up, I'm thinking, well, that's you reap what you sow, right? She sent so many people into that exact same situation. So good, right?
It's funny because you said that in your video, right? But then last week, Angel, Ebube, and I were all like, why were we feeling for her by the end? Or at least Angel and I were like, why were we like
Yeah, I was like,
supporting her by
I
the
did not
end?
say that.
Yeah, I mean, you do the like that. It's true. It's presented that way, right? Like she does all those things. It's the survival spirit. Like you know, she does something crazy to get out of there. So of course you're gonna do it. But then it's just that's sort of like the character too, because it's like it's insidious. Like when you need her, she can come through for you and do something.
Yeah,
But you're gonna have to pay a cost for that at some point. It's sort of
yeah.
like, you know, when we first saw her, whenever she took off Margot's, you know, black
Hood.
bag, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's the kind of thing she excels at is like, yeah, I can make this a lot better for you.
Yeah. To be clear, I do not think Irina is ever going to be like a quote unquote hero. Like I think she would. My theory is that she will help the SDM, but I also think it will always be for her own like agenda. For example,
Mhm.
I don't think she's gonna like. I don't think the next season is gonna start with her face on the poster as like this. This is our new kind of like lead protagonist. Okay, it's Alex's birthday. Um, I don't think Alex has ever been more hashtag relatable than him doing push-ups before his dates.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was gonna be my joke at the beginning if we would have done the thing was I had just been doing some push-ups for the big night.
I can imagine I can imagine the writer's room, like maybe like a man suggested that idea, and like half the women are like, "No, you guys surely don't do that."
Yeah, of course not. Come on, man. Not us, but people we know might have done something like that.
Oh my
like
God, bro.
if anyway, look the things we do. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about the musical sequence because let me tell you my own kind of thing with it. I am like, like you, Peter. I'm like, oh, what are we doing? Is this the show we're doing now? But at the same time, I'm someone who loves musicals. So the longer it went on, the longer I was enjoying it. So,
Oh,
but I
so
was like, I
you were
should
just
be
getting
enjoying it. Kind of
convinced.
think,
Yeah, it was a very
yes,
mixed feelings kind of
yes,
situation, wasn't it?
That's so
it was
interesting.
good.
I've got mixed feelings about this. I don't know what
So
to
you
think.
guys thought approached this in a
Especially
very meta way. Interesting.
yeah, especially whenever Lee comes out because that was just genuinely hilarious, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
by then I was sucked in. Once Lee comes in, I'm
yeah.
like, oh yes, because this is Ed's grandson. Of course, he has this kind of relationship. And I was like, so by then I was sucked in. But like when it starts, and I'm like, guys, we have more important things to be doing than watching
Yeah.
Lily and these
But
guys
also
dancing.
it's also there's so many things. There's the attention to detail. I find it interesting that you guys, approach it in such a meta way. I think from the beginning, my disbelief had already stayed suspended and everything. So,
Mhm.
going in there, I was like, well, this show has something that it's never quite had before now, and that is a community
Kids.
of literal teenagers. Yeah. So
Mhm.
they're going to be doing stuff that's probably a little bit different. Um, you think about what Alex is feeling, what Alex is expecting, and the fact that they've been planting these seeds of like, oh, everybody's been doing like this, I guess this night
Fertilizer
duty or
duty.
whatever, fertilizer duty, right?
Yeah.
And that Lee has been part of it. That's just funny, especially since Lee, you know, the Korean guy, when he joins them, starts doing Gangnam Style, which
That's
is what
yes.
which was popular in 2012.
Which
I was
was
like, the
which
attention
is
to detail here
current
is
at that in
crazy.
their timeline, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Literally, that like
Yeah.
the Gangnam Style blew up in 2012. So
Yeah.
I
thought it
just
was
thought
later
that
than
was
that.
wild. No, it was
Yeah.
2012. It's so funny that that's his first move, and then he just kind of clumsily keeping up with them as the literal old man, because he's supposed to be the same age as Ed, essentially, right? Like kind of
Oh, a few
almost the
years,
same,
maybe
a little bit younger.
Daniel. Yeah, maybe like
Yeah.
Daniel.
Exactly. So I mean, this guy is old, and it's just funny to watch him interact with them in this way. It was kind of interesting to get this moment of respite that, like, okay, even though this war has this conflict has been going on for 6 months, people have found a way to kind of still live. So, when the, I guess, dome disaster, as we're dubbing it,
Fuck me, man,
comes in, I was
Jesus
just like,
Christ.
I just remember thinking, maybe we should instead call this Dev's dome disaster, because
Dome
bro,
disaster. Yeah.
what were you saying about, doing something foolish? Like, who does this help? Even in the
I
best
was
of
in
situations, who
awe.
does this help?
I mean, I guess his idea is that they would starve and they would give up.
Yeah, but that doesn't help him either.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I
was like,
couldn't.
wow.
First of all, it's so well done. I love the way the filmmaking.
Because honestly, when it starts, you don't know what's happening. You're like, they planted all the seeds saying that they're going to do something, but even then, whenever you see this claw thing cracking the window, it's like, wait, what's happened? Like, is this a natural disaster or something?
I was
accident?
like, what could possibly be breaking this thing right now? And also, like, the atmosphere is getting in. So, like, are they just gonna? I was like, are they immediately just gonna, like,
fly out?
Fly out, or I guess even worse, literally just like turn to stone? Like, this is wild.
So, for the last couple of weeks, I've said that, like, if the show is gonna go this direction with Dev, they should double down.
They should double down.
We
yeah.
can't. Yeah, we
double
can't.
Down is down.
Oh my god, guys!
But he's sorry, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, obviously he's sorry because he's not Thanos. He's not a super villain. But at the same time, like, why would you do this? Why? There's a chance. There's always a chance that somebody, even if you think, like you said, best case scenario, you only kill crops. There's always a chance that somebody will be there that you could kill alive. That chance is there.
Like, they are stealing like some of the what's left over or whatever. But yeah, you're putting yourself in a situation where everyone has 2 weeks to live at best case scenario.
Including you. That's like, who does this help, bro? Like, it doesn't help you.
I was generally like, obviously, I think
what
so
a
well done because, like we said, 100% from him, yeah. But like, you can even tell it's a misstep by the way Palmer is visibly shook by everything, like that.
Because he has to tell him that a young woman, like a teenager, died. Like, they killed someone.
Yeah.
They killed 2 people, wasn't it? It was 2 people that died.
He said,
I think only. Yeah, they were doing CPR on a second person, but he only mentions, I think it's the Russian girl that.
Yeah, I know she died. So Dima said only 1 person died.
So 1 person died.
A young lady,
8 people
and you saw
injured.
You see Lily
2 people
like
injured gravely.
Yeah, you see Lily like sitting over a person that has a blanket.
That was their friend,
and I think it's the Russian.
That's good filmmaking too, because I think based on Lily, the look she's giving, the fact that we see those shoes, like we just immediately know as a viewer, oh, it's that Russian girl.
Yeah.
And Kelly brings it up when she's talking to him too, when she sends the message.
I think the fact that, like, they have that little kind of dance sequence which we're all like kind of fighting, but by the time it ends, quote unquote, we're all on board, and then it just kind just hits you with this disaster, and the way they shoot it, where it's kind of cutting in and blacking out like a horror film. I thought it was really, really well done. I couldn't believe. I genuinely was. I think I said out loud, "Jesus Christ, Dev." I just could not believe that they had done this. Like,
I'm curious about the aftermath, man, because all I kept thinking was, if this is not what turns Deb into a supervillain, what probably will is going to be the fact that Alex will never forgive him for this. Like, the rejection from Alex might break him in a way. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and I think that they've pretty well established that that's something that matters to him more than just about anything else on Mars is Alex.
Even now, it's like, what was Alex there? It's like, gee, bro, did you not think about that before?
Like my good friend I grew up with is dead because you were trying to do what now?
Yeah.
You know,
like that's the thing.
trying to starve us out.
Was
so
like, what is your point? Like, what when
Something
they asked them this in court, it's like, what? Okay, so what was your reasoning? What were you hoping
something
would
that
happen?
you put in motion. I felt so. I mean, obviously, I felt for everybody for Lily, but I felt so much for Alex in this situation.
Yeah,
because you know he's carrying so much. Like he thinks, I'm sure he
traumatic
thinks,
birthday.
Yeah, he's a young man, and this is the kind of thing that it's your fault when you think about it. No matter, there's no way to like intellectually separate yourself from it. It feels like it's your fault because they were doing this thing for you.
Yeah.
But then also, I'm pretty sure he thinks that all of this is his fault because if he never releases the documents, they don't go on strike. I'm sure he's beating himself for that. Like if we just
definitely
didn't do anything. So like I was just in that moment when him and Lily are going over the bodies, I was just this is like one of, and this is someone that we especially met this season, really, for being honest. Like so I was just kind of like I really felt for them in that scene. It just the toll seemed like a lot. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Aleda signs, as you can expect, as you understand, the petition to go home increases after this thing, and Aleda signs the
such
petition
a G,
this
man.
time.
Literally just coming out saying,
I
signed it.
totally bought it. She said, I have kids. You know, the performance here is just like, sure, I get it. You're one of my favorite characters, but head home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do not need to be here. So you guys have asked things like, what with the fallout, what will happen with Dev after this? And I do think, I don't know, I feel like the Titan mission is going to play a big part. So let's talk about the Titan mission.
Yeah, I think that's the way it goes.
Yeah, this episode starts with, like we said, 6-month time jump. We said that they're on Titan mission. But then they get a call from Cosmos One saying that, like, things aren't good. The math isn't mathing. They are in trouble. They try everything they can try. They die, right? That is important to us because Sojourner is on the exact same trajectory. They have the exact same plans. If you remember earlier in the season, Aleda told Dev to get the numbers from, and we assume he got them from Kurgan because he has his backdoor channels. Anyway, so if things don't change very, very quickly, Helios or Sojourner will have the same fate, right? Which leads Walt to decide that we're going home. We're not risking it.
Plus the fact that he just hates Kelly. So it's just like any chance he gets that he can go against what she thinks is like.
It's like, this guy, man, like you're not really helping your case, like, because he's just coming off as somebody who is like mediocre.
Are you anti-Walt?
He's petty.
Wait, so do you guys think Walt made the wrong choice?
I don't think he made the wrong choice, but I think he could back up everything he says. But we're watching, we're observing, and his decisions are clouded by the fact that he just hates Kelly. I mean,
and it's I think for me, it's the fact that he capitulated so easily. Like he didn't even try to, rejig the calculations. He didn't try to figure something else out. He didn't try to rely on the team that's there. Like he just believes, okay, well, if I think this is not viable, it definitely isn't, because I must be the smartest person here. Like, again, just literally like Pete just said, he hates Kelly. Like, it hasn't even occurred to him once that Kelly or anyone else might be able to come up with a new solution. Like, I mean, bro, maybe you can cut him some slack and say he did that because they could maybe come up with a new solution, but they can't because the situation on Mars is such that nobody will be able to give them the necessary support for that recalculation. Or maybe
I'm not even saying that it was a wrong choice to go back. I'm just saying that
it was a fair choice, but I think he made it a bit too easily because he does not want to be outshone by Kelly, and he doesn't have faith in the rest of the team. Like, yeah.
This is why I can't be an astronaut or even like an explorer, Because what is like, we're going back. I was like, yes, that's right. Let's go back home. I do not want
Next,
to
we
fall
gave it
to
a
the same
good
pit
go.
as Cosmos. Yeah. I was like, I'm already packed. Let's go.
That's the only reason you
Because
can
funny-
say it's fair, because you're looking ahead and it's like, oh, do you mean the people who did exactly what we're about to do just
Well,
died?
just did like
Okay.
well, the exact same.
Like we just heard them die. We just heard them make peace with the fact that they're all gonna die. Not now
Yeah.
either. Like they're gonna have a few hours to think about their death in a fireball as they go into. Or she actually said that it would be the radiation that would kill them.
That would kill
so
them. Yeah,
that sounds
Which
really
is-
pleasant.
Yeah, very fun.
Really pleasant and kind of relevant to the fact that they're Russians, which is
Your
crazy.
body burns from the inside out.
Like
I
it's
think
like
you
Chernobyl
probably,
in space.
Yeah, you
Oh
just
my
bleed from
God.
every place that you could possibly bleed from until
Man.
because your
So,
inside
there's no more
turns to
blood?
soup. Yeah.
Has Kelly ever been more like her father than in this moment?
I think not. I think this is
So
the moment
we've-
that she's like, yeah, I know where I came from.
We've
And we
had
did
a
not come from-
season-long...
It's
Yeah,
literally
we
like
kind of the
daddy ain't raised no
synthesis,
bitch.
right? It's kind of the synthesis of like who he was, like in his mind, and what he regretted at the end, and she kind of sees that she has a chance to not,
to not do it, yeah.
not
We've
spend her
kind
life
of-
thinking about what could have been.
Yeah. We've kind of, both online and offline, had like a season-long discussion about Kelly. So, Pete, let me start with you. Has this changed your investment perception of this character?
I mean,
What was that sound?
I kinda like it was good. Like I think about all right. I think about whenever Danielle Poole made the decision to go to Mars. Remember, like
Mhm.
she was the commander. She had her moment. Are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? And she does it. Like this didn't hit for me in that same way. That's just true. That's just a true statement.
Is it because of how she does it, like through conniving and backstabbing?
No, not necessarily, because I actually think that there's a really interesting parallel or contrast with what she does and what Deb does that maybe we can talk about. Like, but the thing about it is that she's always just been their kid for me. And I don't know, I'm not saying that she could never have her own story. Maybe it's going to come up, but it's just not the way she doesn't feel like a lead character to me. You know what I mean? Like even just compared to Aleda, who is kind of her contemporary, like Aleda just has a more defined story where she is someone I feel like, I have a bigger investment in.
Yeah. Ebube. I don't actually know. I don't think I know your Kelly stance pre this episode.
I've always liked Kelly. I felt that she was a good addition to the story. She kind of joins the different generations for us as viewers, because it's like that there's always kind of a link. The link to Ed's era and there's a link to what's happening now because of her. She's kind of the right age where she joins their family, like, after, Shane and everything. So
Shane.
she wouldn't be necessarily the same age as some of those other people. So it's interesting to see her in the story at this point, and you kind of wonder, like, okay, is this person ever going to have like, kind of their moment? Like, is she going to have her moment? I think it's very easy for viewers to see her as Alex's mom or Ed's daughter. So I think it's cool for her to now have something like this. Like, I think she was likable, but not necessarily too memorable for most people. But now it's like she's absolutely taking the reins. Did she do this through Subterfuge? Yes, but I think it's because she had to. Like, in Danielle's situation, it's like she was in command, but this is like, Kelly fought to get command of this mission.
She torpedoed Walt here. I mean,
it was ultimately given to Walt, but she's like, listen, man, like, I'm not going to go down as the person who did not get to Titan after getting so close because of your mediocrity. Like, literally, she's like, we need to figure something else out. Like this felt like one of those moments where the woman is just like, no, like we're not doing this. And the fact that she's able to do that is interesting. Like it tells you that like Walt probably never stood a chance in this sense. Like she thinks about everything she said to Alex. She thinks about what her father would say. You know, she thinks about, you know, the fact that this is kind of a once in a lifetime thing in a way. Like if they come back, this is probably not going to happen based on the situation that's happening on Mars, based on all the different people who are
what is
around
the
now.
chances that they're going to get to return?
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Very low. So
There's
she's like, if we don't do
coup.
this, we are never doing this. And I am not going down as the person who tried this and quit. So, yeah, she kind of had to. And I respect it.
Did it change your opinion?
So I did kind of struggle at first with the way she was going about it. But then I had to ask myself, is that kind of like my own bias? Like if Ed Baldwin did this, would I have such a big problem?
You might think it was fun.
Yeah, I was like, is that my bias? I have to kind of think about it as the scene was going on. I don't think I'm going to be shouting Kelly Baldwin from the rooftops. But I do think like they pulled off.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes, they pulled out all their tricks. Like when you're a show like this in your 5th season, you kind of have the tricks. They put out all their tricks to do the quote unquote cool moment. Like they gave her even the snappy thing to say, it's like, I don't think you want me answering dumb questions right now, or whatever. Like they kind of put out all the tricks for us to at least be happy for her in this moment. I was genuinely happy for her in this moment. However, and I don't know if this is unfair, so you can let me know, the comments can let me know. I did think it was interesting that the climax of this scene is in Happy Valley and not with her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that is like a space thing. Like, maybe it has happened in previous seasons and I'm forgetting. But like the fact that in the end, we are most invested with like, maybe because we already know, like we know that she's not going to die. At least I know she's not going to die once once all of this happens, right? But like we're most invested in how Happy Valley is reacting to the landing or to finding out. Like we don't see them land. We just see them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't know if that was unfair from the show. I was like, okay, are you shortchanging her?
I don't know if it's them shortchanging her. I think it's more the fact that, you know, we identify more with the Happy Valley people, the people who are invested in whether or not this works. So I think maybe they wanted to insert us, or I guess immerse us in that uncertainty, in that, you know, kind of edge of your seat. Like, did they make it? So like we are there with those characters. And it also gives them like, you know, this chance for a slight suspenseful moment, even though most of us are not going to assume that these people will die. But I think they put in enough effort such that, you know, they could reasonably have died. Like, is not one of those. This did not feel like one of those plot armor moments. Like if they had died here, it would have been terribly sad, but it probably could have been believable. So yeah.
I mean, it's a show that is not afraid of killing people. They've killed a lot of people in lots of disasters.
Literally. So I
the
think
thing that stuck with me about it was that the way that, like you said, it is focused on Happy Valley, but that's sort of the point, right? It's sort of like you have
to link it,
everyone,
make it relevant.
It's at the lowest place it could possibly be, and everyone on all the opposing sides are all on the edge of their seat because of this tremendous thing that these people are doing. And that's sort of why we watch the show. That's sort of why people watch the moon landing, you know what I mean? Like this is the thing, right? Like it doesn't matter where they're all from different places. They're all, you know, this is a Mars mission as Miles pointed out and everything else, but it's really the humanity of it, right? It's like they're doing something that no one's ever done before. And you see the governor, you see Deb, you see every single person on all across the spectrum that are all in the exact same place at the same moment because of that accomplishment. And I think that's sort of the thing, because I've been kind of wondering, like, how are they going to sort of bring Mars together so that there's some kind of cohesive thing that can be there if they become independent. And this sort of answers that question.
Yeah, no, I think again, from the men, Dev is like, again, why I cannot be a leader because I'm not making that call when there's not there's when Miles is like play to the base because it makes sense. Like, yeah, but also, and I guess even if if they
It's
die,
very
everybody on
risky.
base would know. But like the fact that
Then they
everybody
would
gets
mourn
to
together
hear,
because
true,
you know what I mean?
It would bring
It's
everyone together
people,
regardless. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. And it's
yeah,
and even if they do fail, like, you know, Cosmos One failed, but it's the fact that they were willing to try to do this thing that no one's ever done before. I mean, that's the thing
yeah.
that really hits you in the heart, you know?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier about like the show having knowing its tricks and pulling them, but I do think this is it. I think that sequence, Happy Valley, that's the secret sauce that like the show has. Like, it's if you're too cynical or jaded or trying to use a word that is not as negative, well, if you don't kind of respond to things like that border on saccharine, then the show will just never work for you,
Yeah,
right? You need to be
absolutely.
able to kind of like just
Just
release
enjoy
yourself
the
and just go with it because
Bury
that's
the
the secret
hatchet.
sauce of the show. Yeah, that sentimentality that sometimes it just wears on its sleeve, where it's like people and it's like all of us want to. Is why people are, like you said, people are so invested in moon landings or space missions. Like,
they do the exact same music cue every single time, and it works every single
Yes.
time, man.
yeah, but it's like it's all of us, like all of us as humans, kind of this collective belief that we want to be rooted in something bigger and all of that stuff. So yeah,
So something you once said, right? Like the show will always skew hopeful. Like the show is never
mhm,
going to show is never going to be tech pessimistic. Like it's always going to be humanity moving forward. Like the show is literally called For All Mankind. So
mhm,
when it comes to moments like this, that, you know, mankind is, you know, getting into a new frontier, like it's those are the big moments in the show. Those are kind of like the season defining moments in the show. And I think for season 5, this is one of those. Like literally, like we've gone from, you know, NASA fighting each other in season 1 to maybe getting on the moon to now we're on Mars, and now like what, we're by Saturn. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about
yeah,
it. So
And it's
they
interesting
want us to
too.
feel that with the characters.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because there is a diminishing returns. I mean, I know we talked about this a little bit the last time I was on with, you know, when the big space set piece last time with Samantha Massey, you're just sort of like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool, but like, do I care or not? I don't know. You see it so many times. So it's interesting that this is you know, where it's at in the season. There's still quite a few episodes to go.
Mhm.
yeah.
That it kind of says, well, we got something bigger up our sleeves than this, you know, like this isn't the
Do you think
emotional
they do?
climax. I don't know. I mean, that's why I said, that's why think it's kind of intriguing because
Honestly,
it
it's
feels
I
like,
hope
possible
it's not. I hope it's
because
not
if
a
this was
gunfight on Happy Valley.
yeah, please, none of those. Um,
Yeah,
if it was episode 9 that this was happening in, then I'd be like, okay,
you
I
would.
guess this
yeah,
is it.
that was
Mhm.
But
it,
this
but
is
it's
7. It's like
episode
we have
7.
3 full episodes. Like, so anything
I
could
think I only
happen at this
said
point.
gun.
I'm optimistic.
We know the Marines are coming, which is why I said the thing about the gunfight. I really hope it doesn't devolve
Yeah.
into something that kind of bland and expected. Um, it's so funny because I spent most of the first half of this season talking about like space shit, right? Give us our space shit. And by the time it came, I was already so invested in like the things that were happening on ground. Like I didn't actually. I was like, obviously, I'm very happy we have it, but like it
Yeah.
wasn't my priority anymore. At this
Yeah.
point, I was like,
That's why I thought it was pretty interesting the way that you know, cause it's there, but it sort of functions in a different way. It's
yeah.
not
Without it, this,
everything's not riding on that working.
yeah, without it, this episode is still pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Like the dome stuff, all of that stuff. Like without that, obviously the space thing elevates it for me, and I'm guessing most people. But without it, I still think this is like a pretty solid episode. Before we wrap up, Pete, you mentioned something about a similarity between Kelly and Dev. Do you want to touch on that?
Well, I just wonder about like what you guys think because you have 2 characters here who did something, um, you know, that was pretty extreme.
To put it mildly.
They if
Nice way to put it.
you
Yeah.
don't think about the results, they're pretty similar decisions, right? Like they're both convinced that there's only one way to get what they want. So they're going to do that, and they think it's in everyone's best interest, and they sort of don't really, they sort of
And the
act on
opposite
their
perspective
own.
is foolishness. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And so, on the one side, of course, Kelly got the good outcome. They made it. On Dev's side, it ended in complete tragedy, but it's still kind of it's kind of different, right? Because on Kelly's, she's trying to do something that she truly does believe is for the betterment of all mankind. Whereas, is there a way to say that Dev is doing that for anyone but himself?
Oh, I know he believes that he's doing it for, like, he believes that Mars would not, like, go on if the SDM gets their way. Like, he believes that for Mars to still be a thing,
but what's his
SDM
vision?
needs to relent. Meru, I guess. I don't know, man. Like,
who's gonna live at Meru?
Him and his 5 billionaire friends, it seems like.
Because that's the thing. I wonder if people like him anymore. Like, I think his reputation was already on thin ice. And now it's like, does he come back from this? Like, morally, societally?
But yeah,
can people forgive him?
It's hard to say. I don't think we're getting him wrong. I think that they're showing us that this is, the power and the money that he has. It's made him a bit of a weirdo.
Oh, I don't think we're getting wrong at all. And like, again, this is not a season 5 development. Dev has always been in it for himself. Yeah, what he thinks is correct. Like has always been. It's just that a lot of those times they've aligned with like what our characters wanted or what we thought. Like, either it was space exploration or last season. Now it's just in direct opposite with what we think is. So my question. Because obviously they show the entire base kind of enraptured by this landing. From Palmer to Boyd and everything, including Dev. And Dev, you can see this wheel spinning behind Dev's head, like he's trying to figure out, are they doing the right thing or all that stuff. Is there a chance that this is like the magic pill? Like everybody's like, oh, Titan landed. Sorry, so General landed on Titan, so like, well, body now. Dev is like, okay, I give up. I killed somebody. I give up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I wouldn't want that, but is there a way that happens?
I don't know. That's the thing that's been really, really making me wonder about the season. It's not necessarily the ins and outs of episode after. I just sort of can't figure out how Mars holds on to their independence. Like, it's easy enough to win that, like we saw them do, but I don't know what Titan has. I don't know how Titan changes the fact that the M6 want their iridium. They're going to come for it. I mean, I guess there's a chance that the M6 falls apart.
I guess if they hold on to Titan,
now that I'm thinking about it, Arena's talking about Korzenko. I guess it could be the Soviet Union collapsing instead of Korzenko losing power.
Ison becomes stronger.
Yeah,
and I mean, I guess they could hold on to Titan as their thing, like it's their accomplishment, right? It's.
Yeah, I'm just saying, how does that work as leverage to hold on? Because I mean, you know, like I said many times, like you think that it does skew hopeful, so you think that something better is going to be built out of whatever's going on Mars, right?
Popularity on Earth. If Earth is like, stop being mean to Mars.
Well, I mean, yeah, they hate Mars now, you know what I mean? And they want to just put a bunch of robots
as like
on
normal
there.
people, like the populace.
Yeah, the populace is like they're anti-Mars, right? I mean,
so that's I'm saying if they change because of the Titan mission, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like you guys, what could be next. It's. I don't know. Yeah.
It's hard to see. I'm sure they have. They've got something that they think makes sense, and I'm looking forward to finding out what it is.
The thing that keeps worrying me is we know OPEF is coming, and those are real Marines with real guns and real boots on the ground. Like, I like, how does SDM fight against that? I don't know. Like,
especially with, it seemed like Palmer got the majority of the weapons
and medical supplies. So it's like, yeah, even if they have like the public vote of approval or whatever, once OPEF lands and they have actual Marine, I don't know.
They shouldn't be able to. The answer to your question is they should not be able to. It should be quite simple for a military force to overrun what's going on, like Miles and Gerardo. You know what I mean? Like, there's only 3,000 people total, and a lot of them were already turned against them in the first place, or were never going to be moved to violence, you know? So in reality,
what
that should be the end of things whenever they get there.
Yeah. Maybe episode 8 starts with a 5 month.
Of course, that's probably not how it's going to happen, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Any final thoughts, guys? Ebube, Pete, anything we haven't touched on?
I really like the new spacesuits. I like the new spacesuits. It's so cool because it's like, you think about the fact that, you know, they're trying to do the things that they're trying to do, which involve them not moving in a cumbersome way. So I just actually always enjoy seeing in every new era, every new season, how they've advanced spacesuit technology, and these ones look so light. And
what's your worst? Helios Blue?
But Helios Blue was like, okay, are you just trying to be different? Like,
I hated that so much.
The big Michelin man.
Like, what were you like? You're just trying to be different.
Those are so perfect.
This is not functional.
Yeah, those were so perfect to have Ed and Danny wearing whenever they looked so disappointed for being second. Like, that was really, I don't know if that was the idea or what,
oh
but
my God, bro.
That really is classic. The suits is one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because, you know, it seems like if you read online, like, people are, you know, some people are not liking the season because of the lack of space travel and stuff. I don't know. This episode seems to change that up a little bit. But one of the things I was thinking when I was watching this, when I watched it the second time, was that, man, those suits are cool, aren't they? You know, like, they really are. Like, so do you think it's
well
a better
designed?
show?
I love it.
Yeah. Do you think it's a better show if we're seeing some of those developments happening? Like, we're watching the, you know what I mean? Like, if it was more
like,
sci-fi.
Wait, what the developments, like making the suits?
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious, like, technological advancements happening.
Like, if maybe Aleda was involved in like a discussion of like, oh, we should do this because of the suits, and like, that's like when we see them designing stuff for the mission.
If there was just even any of it, you know what I mean? Like, there really, it's just there visually, and like for nerdy people like us, like, we're like looking at those details and being like, damn, that's a pretty high tech suit compared to that big blue boy that they wore when they landed on Mars.
The Vince Gilligan approach of like showing us every step.
That's a good question. Like, that's a good thing to, you know, that's a show that, or his shows are shows that do that. You know, they give us a little more process. There's a pretty big lack of process, I think, in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Maybe the show feels like it's matured such that it can kind of just show us the results without having to show us the calculation.
Yeah, and I don't even have like a yes, you know, like, I wasn't even sure what my answer for that would be. I was just curious to what you guys, because I know that you have various levels of sci-fi interest.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I, like, personally, I don't know if I care about the process of making the suit, but I do probably care about the process of getting Sojourner to work, which we skipped
because that was just completely skipped over.
Yeah. So that if you're picking between those two, that's probably the one I would more like to see. Can see Aleda's brain work, Kelly's brain work. Suits, I'd rather see it in action. And I'm like, oh, that's cool that you can do that.
It's so
but
interesting.
I do think that is noticeably missing, right? I mean, like you say you have Margot and Aleda sitting in having their conversation, and you got to get up there. You're the only one that knows that ship, and then she gets there, and it's like, yeah, cool, let's go to Titan.
I think maybe it's because of the characters we have left. Like, we have 2 science characters in Aleda and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the rest are all like the working men, and that's it really. And Dev, obviously, but Dev is in a whole different world. So like, before you could have Margot, you could have Aleda, you could have Molly, you could have Ed, you could have Danielle, all having these discussions, right? And season 3, you could have Danny Stevens. Now it's literally just Aleda and Kelly. Those are the people that can have these conversations. So I think maybe it's a result of the characters that they have left on the board. And obviously that's their choice. They brought in these new characters. I'm not trying to say it's like always unfortunate. They chose to create these characters. But yeah, I think that's probably the reason why we're seeing less kind of processed science stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing I was wondering when I watched that, because I was like, there's, Titan is like a cold place as far as I know, right?
I thought it was beautiful. Can I just say that? I thought
it did look very cool.
The scene of them landing, where you see Saturn in the background, and then when they land, and I just okay, this is gonna be very ignorant, so I apologize. You said that we've sent a drone to Titan?
Yeah.
Was that what you sent me?
Yeah, so they crashed a probe on the surface of it.
Did we get images? Did we get visuals?
Yeah, they have
so what we're seeing on this show is, I'm guessing, like a recreation. It's not just from their mind of what they think Titan looks like.
Yeah. I think a lot of the really good information they have is more from flybys from most of those moons, because they had a couple of different things that just went and flew by and did all kinds of scientific measurements and photographs from the as they went by a lot of the moons. But they know quite a bit about them for having never had a person there before.
I'm always just so wondered how they shoot this stuff. Like, is it green screen? Is it volume? Because it just constantly, maybe to me at least, it just constantly looks good. Like, I'm just like, space always looks good on the show.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like the shot of Sojourner with Saturn to the left and Titan to the right. I mean, that's just gorgeous. Beautiful. Like I'm guessing it's the same as like playing a video game. Like, it's just completely an animation, right? But it looks.
They do it so well.
It looks really cool.
It's nice. It's cool to see.
Sort of like how you. It's sort of like how you said about how the way that they do the deep fake style interviews in the thing.
Yeah,
like
me every time.
Like it.
I'm just like, wow, bro.
They have some really good visual effects work going on.
Okay, let's wrap it up there. Pete will be back for the finale, hopefully. I am really enjoying this season. Maybe I am in a weird place where I'm enjoying lots of things I'm watching. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying the season. I did start off enjoying it. Like, we were all kind of scared going in. But yeah, I'm enjoying the season. I'm kind of digging it. So we'll see. Am I alone? What do you guys think so far? As we enter the final third.
I'm a little bit surprised at some of the negative stuff I heard people saying about it, because generally I think it's been pretty fun.
I like the season. I think it's been interesting. I think it's been engaging. I think the characters have gone through what we would expect their natural arcs to be. I think we're doing the smart thing that shows should be doing, right? Create a bunch of interesting people and then create a wacky situation and throw them inside it and see what happens. Like, this is textbook, like, effective writing. And I think they've they've done a good job of that. And one thing I always love, as we were just saying, is the attention to detail. I think that's better than ever in this season. Even some of the meta stuff, like the societal stuff, the fact that you can see all the tech everybody's using, but then you go to Helios and then they have like IMAX. Of course it's the billionaire tech company that just has Apple computers just like stationed everywhere for their engineers.
Yeah.
And like it's just, and then we can see that people are using iPhones now. It's you can tell that
Newtons.
it's a sign of the times, and it's the same spirit as the whole thing with the new suits and their design and all that stuff. Like no matter what happens, like everybody who is on this planet is somebody who has some skill to offer this general effort to advance the series. I found myself actually laughing. I was like, how long does it take this world and this universe and these characters to become foundation? Like, are we talking like 2,000 years? Are we talking 500? It's interesting because we're just slowly expanding.
Yeah, Pete thinks they're going to the expanse, right? That's what you think these characters are heading to.
Well, it's quite different than the expanse. Mars becomes independent, but it's quite different than what's happening here. I think there's a there's a spiritual connection, but not a literal one.
Okay, that seems like a good place to leave it. Yeah. Join us next week. We'll be talking more for Mankind episode 8. We'll have a couple of guests from earlier in the season returning, and then Pete will be back for the finale. Ebube Pete, thank you very much. Please, if you watch The Boys, please check our coverage on The Boys. If you watched the season of Invincible, please check our coverage on Invincible. We'll be back in the summer with House of the Dragon season 3, and then maybe other things. I don't know yet. But for now, thank you very much for listening, guys. Yeah, and join us next week when we join by Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.